more, we're joined by KTV political analyst Brian Sobel. Brian, let's dive right into that dissection of President Trump's comments. And let's be frank here, the president has, in the past and more recently, repeatedly attacked ethnic groups. He's called some Mexicans rapists. He reportedly said Haitians all have AIDS. More recently, he's referred to a group of white supremacists as fine people, mentioning on both sides during what happened in Charlottesville. So some people, including congressional leaders, are saying, hey, Donald Trump is racist. Do you think that's fair? Do you think that's a fair assumption to make given the comments he's made?
Well, I don't know whether you know what's in the heart of somebody. I do look at a guy like him and say, hey, here's somebody who's been given everything in life, and he doesn't have a lot of compassion for people. And maybe, and he may be a racist, but he also may just have zero capacity for anybody in a room but himself. These comments are so objectionable. They're so beyond the pale. It's not, I was saying to somebody earlier today, it's just inelegant, it's unpresidential, it's all those things. Now, it's also true that we heard Senator Durbin talking about language in the Oval Office. You know, in the history of the Oval Office, there's been other things said, but this is the current example of where you can have somebody who's really off the rails on this subject.
And in the midst of trying to create policy on immigration in DACA, is that going to be set back quite a bit?
Well, this is the thing. You know, he has his feelings about people and life and all that, but there's the nation's objectives around policy, like what should we be doing with immigration? And anytime you end up with a discussion like this, it doesn't allow both sides, both parties, not sides, both parties to come together and have a good, fruitful discussion about this and come up with solutions, because it's being sidetracked by this theater.
Right.
Yeah, and I know that it's going to be very difficult, and as some Democrats are saying, we are not going to do anything unless we see some movement on DACA, which could result in that government shutdown. It's going to be an interesting showdown.
Well, you think about it. There's Durbin, who's a Democrat, sitting to the right of Donald Trump in the immigration meeting. He was there for a reason. He's there because he was the one guy, or a few Democrats, who said, hey, on a bipartisan basis, maybe we can make something happen. Right. So then the president says those things in the meeting, drives him right out of the room. I just, it's inexplicable.
Let's talk about our image around the world, because I've seen Facebook posts from, you know, from parents that see that word S blank hole up on the TV screen, and their kids are using it now. What is the world saying right now?
Well, we hope that the world separates the president's comments from the policy, but it's hard because the whole world sees on cable television these remarks and have to judge them on their face, and on their face they are really, really poor things to say.
If I can interject, if he did say this, why wouldn't he fess up to it?
Well, that was something very interesting to me. There were enough people in the room, Republicans and Democrats.
Obviously,
he said it.
Both sides.
He said it. But why he didn't come out and say, yeah, I used that word, but let me explain in what context I used it. Right. I was really expecting that today. No, this is a president who never apologizes. He never backs down from anything, and everything ends up as a fight. That's the part of this that we thought we would see a maturity over time, that he would be a different president as we went on in time. It's not happening.
Governmental censure has been requested. Do we really think, you know, it's essentially a reprimand, but do we really think that this is going to stop a man who says he's just using tough words?
No. You know, it would take a huge effort and lots of Republicans who are elected to change the paradigm here. I think, you know, American citizens are going to have to look at this, judge it, and decide whether in 3 years, barring the investigations and everything, whether he's somebody who they want representing him.
You're going to join us again at 5, I guess,
yes.
and tonight at 7 as well?
And 6, I believe.
At 6 and 7.
Yeah.
Okay. Brian Sobel, thanks for your insights.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
My